스탠리패러블 제가 풍은양님 게임하는 거 보고 되게 해보고 싶었는데 설정을 어떻게 하는지 몰라갖고 일단 이렇게 해갖고 게임을 한번 해볼게요. 화면이 조금 바깥에 파란 화면이 불편할 수 있으시겠지만 한번 해보겠습니다. 이거 근데 너무 어지러울라 그래. 이렇게 나가는 건가? 뭔데?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
회의실? 회의실이 어디요? 다른 동료 책상 구경하고 싶다. 뭐라 적혀있지? 인터뷰. 뭔지 모르겠어. 컵에 뭐라 적혀있는데? 난 일이 싫어라고 적혀있는 거야? 좋아라고 적혀있는 거야? 난 일이 좋아. 내 상사가 싫을 뿐? 응? 누구 아빠? 컴퓨터 켜놓고 갔네 다들. 컴퓨터를 켜놓고 가셨어요. 왜?
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
나 여기 있을 줄 알았나 보네. 이런 대사도 넣어놓고 말이죠. 누가 방귀 뀌었어? 누가 방귀 뀌었어? 라고 적혀있는데요? 응? 뭐라고 적혀있는지 보고 싶다. 여기 왜 열려있어요? 나 점프 못하네. 뭐라 적혀있는 거야? 뭐가 이렇게 청소를 왜 이렇게 제대로 안 해? 이 사람들. 내 사랑이 되어줘. 컵에 왜 이렇게 메시지를 많이 넣어놨지? 정작 컵에 그림 같은 건 하나도 없고. 여기도 누가 방귀 꼈어? 라고 적혀있는데요, 컵에. 방귀를 되게 많이 끼는 분이 다니시나봐, 직장에. 여기는 불 꺼져 있네. 여기는 무슨 팀이에요? 알려주시면 안 돼요? 회의실이 어디야? 갈까 말까.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
나 말 듣기 싫은데 나 여기 앉으면 안 돼요? 여기는 왜 근데 이쪽 줄은 불이 다 켜져 있고 저쪽에 끝에는 불이 꺼져 있어요? 밖에는 뭔데 이렇게 환해요? 너무 환해. 눈뽕이야. 여기 혹시 사막 위에 지어진 회사? 일단 스토리 진행해야 되니까 한번 들어가 볼게요. 아야. 여기 조금 움직임이 스무스하게 될 순 없나요? 나 이렇게 다니면서 벽에 많이 부딪힐 것 같은데?
Yet there was not a single person here either.
해고당하지
Feeling a
않는
wave
꿀팁,
of
말 적게
disbelief,
하기.
Stanley decided to go up to
엄청난
his
일을
boss's
해내기,
office,
해고당하지 않기.
hoping he might find an answer there.
컵에 또 뭐라 써져 있어. 가져가지 마세요. 월요일. 청소 도구함.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
뒤돌아서라고요?
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
이게 그 공구 요즘
It
유명해졌던.
was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet.
아니 여기
He
있다고
wasn't
엄청
even doing
꼽주.
anything.
왜 이렇게
At
뭐라
least if there was
그래?
something to interact with, he'd be justified in
내가
some
좀 볼 게
way.
있다니까?
As it is, he's literally just standing
아무것도 안
there
하는 게
doing
아니라요.
sweet FA.
나 이 공구 이거 요즘 유명해졌단 말이에요. 이거 나 좀 구경 좀 봐야겠어 나.
Are you really still in the broom closet?
네.
Standing
있는데요?
around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
아 나갈게. 별거 아닌 거 가지고 엄청 뭐라 그러네.
Coming
그래가지고
to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
화장실이 위에 있어? 여기는 왜 이렇게 구멍이 많아요? 되게 그 낡은 건물 화장실처럼. 화장실이 어딘데? 여긴가? 이거 아닌가? 아니 나 조절을 잘 못하겠어. 아니 너무 벽에 붙어서 가는 거 아닌가나? 이게 회장의 컴퓨터? 뭔가 서류가 있군.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
매니저?
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who
이거 다
orchestrated
책이야?
this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
방금 그렇게 해줬잖아. 2845. 그림.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
엄청 가르쳐주네. 뭐라 그러네. 화장실이 청고가 이렇게 높아?
2845.
누르라고 엄청 뭐라 그래. 아 이거 되게 뭐라 잔소리하는 게임이네 되게. 아니 내 행동에 자유가 있다고요. 우리
But it turns out that the door's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself.
문 되게
And Stanley
성질
got the hell
급하네?
along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
한번 눌러보려고 그랬는데 문 되게 성질 급하네. 문 어디 열렸는데요? 이게 열린 거야? 어디로 가는 건데? 어느 문이 열렸다는 거야? 저 문? 이게 뭔데요? 너무 어두워요. 어디로 가야 돼요? 나 아무것도 안 보여. 절로 들어가는 거야? 어허.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job.
내 직업의
Why did he feel
본질이요?
this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
나 그런 질문 가져본 적 없는데? 지금 아직 나 뭐가 뭔지 모르겠는데요. 요 회사 이거 어떻게 만든 거야 이거? 이거 회사 아니지? 지금 여기 엑스맨 기지예요?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
안 가면 안 간다고 또 뭐라 할 건가? 가기 싫어. 뭐라 하진 않네요. 여기 엑스맨 기지지. 프로페서 X가 만든. 아무래도 갈 때까지 기다릴 모양입니다. 탈출구래. 탈출구. 나 탈출할래. 나 같은 평범한 사람은 여기 있는 거 아닌 것 같아.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
그래? 뭐가 나오는데?
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
무섭다. 나갈래. 나갈래.
But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
여긴 뭔데?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What
텔레비전
horrible
화면?
secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
이게 다 텔레비전이라는겨? 어떻게 켜는 건데 이거? 싫어라고 적혀 있는데? 사원 관찰 프로포폴이라고 적혀 있는 거야? 뭐야? 뭔데? 나 뭐 눌러야 되는 건데?
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals
나도
reduced
있어?
to images on a screen.
427번?
And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
한 번 더 보여줘. 내 거 맞는지 보게. 내 거 왜 이렇게 어두워요? 내 책상 맞아? 내 책상에 지금 불 꺼져 있다는 건가? 나 이제 뭐 하면 되는데요? 응? 이거 누르라고?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be
정신지배기관이라고
true.
이게?
Had Stanley
그냥
really been under
CCTV 아니야?
someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his
나
emotions
행복했나?
had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
나 행복했어? 해고됨? 아, 나 해고된 거야, 그러면은? 화면이 꺼진 거는 해고됐대. 뭐 어쩌라고. 뭐가 생겼네?
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
뭐야 여기?
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very
그래?
place. And as the cold reality
게
of his
어딨는데?
past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would
행복,
dismantle the
슬픔 그런 게
controls
어딨는데?
once and for
나 안 보여.
all.
정신 지배 상태가 오프라인이라서 다들 뛰쳐나간 거야? 뭐지? 어이, 내가 평소에 길 치니까 이거 뭐 따라가라는 길밖에 못 가겠네 나? 아니 근데 행복이랑 슬픔이랑 그런 단어가 어디 있는데? 나만 안 보이나? 이거 뭔데? 너무 어두워서 컵에 뭐라 적혀있는지 안 보인다. 이건가? 에이. 나 뭐 눌러야 되는 거예요? 정신지배 상태, 오프라인. 오? 저렇게 살다가 내가 미쳐. 정신지배 비가동 중. 명령어 대기 중. 아니, 그리고 스탠리 씨는 왜 이렇게 옆으로 자꾸 개걸음을 걸어요?
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
지금 꺼진 상태 아니야? 그냥 꺼진 상태인 것 같은데? 꺼진 상태에 굳이 오프를 눌러야 해요?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
해치웠나? 해치웠나라고 말하는 순간
He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's
플래그가
command.
세워지는 건데.
Freedom was mere moments away.
아, 조용히 하셔.
Even as the
그런
immense
말로
door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay
끝이라고
unsolved.
그런 말로
Where had his co-workers
부정타게
gone?
만들지 마셔.
How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do.
뭔데 진짜 정신지배 당했던 거야?
Whatever life he lives, it will be his.
나 이거 지금 방사대는 지금 주라기 공원의 공룡 아니죠? 스탠리는 사실 공룡이었던 거야. 나 지금 방사됐어.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
주라기 공원 엔딩. Get your first achievement. 도전과제 달성. 뭐야, 또 나가는 거네?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
몰라.
decided to go to
여기
the
방귀
meeting
끼는
room.
사람
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
많대. 월요일. 방귀 끼는
No
직원이
matter how
많대.
hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
이거 뭔데? 기분 나빠. 몰카같이 생겨가지고. 생긴 거는. 난 일이 좋아. 아, 일이 좋다고 돼 있네. 내 상사가 싫을 뿐. 많은 사람들이 그렇지 않을까? 근데 진짜 어디 지어져 있길래 이렇게 눈뽕이야? 사막 아니야? 여기 두바이 아니야? 내 사랑이 되어줘. 422번은 누굴 좋아했던 걸까요? 여자친구, 남자친구, 그런 애인이 있었나? 어, 2845 여기다가 입력해봤는데 안 뜨네요. 이 문은 못 열어요?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
이야기를 진행해야 돼? 이야기를 진행할 수 없었습니다. 그럼 끝 아닌가? 취급주의. 나 왜 저 방에 못 들어가? 여기 있는 거 왜 못 훔쳐봐? 월요일 싫어. 나 이 컵 가져가고 싶어요. 뭐지? 초록색 잎. 나 117호 들어가고 싶어요. 417은 뭔데 자기 혼자 독방 써? 에이. 두두두둥 두둥둥둥둥둥둥둥 병병병병병. 형, 저 쿵철인데요. 병병병병병. 저 형철인데요.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
나는 오른쪽으로 갈 거야.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
사원 휴게실 있어? 사원 휴게실이 있어. 얼마나 복지가 잘 돼 있는 회사인지 볼까?
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth
시원한
the detour
음료.
after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
1.25달러밖에 안 하는데 왜 나 안 줘? 나 그 돈이 없나?
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
아니 되게 뭐라 그러네. 연료.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall
나
personality.
인성이
It's possible
더럽다고
that this
말하는
is
거야
why
지금?
everyone left.
나 때문에 모든 동료가 떠났다고요? 커피에 미치다 라고 적혀있어요 컵에.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
무슨 메시지? 나 음료수 마시고 싶어. 지금 시계가 내가 시작할 때 시작 그거 입력한 시간이랑 다른데? 원래 같이 맞춰준 거 아니었나? 진짜 이제 대사 없어? 여기는 뭐라 적혀있지? 1등 아빠? 아 1등 아빠. 월요일. 아마 저 빨간색 글자는 내 사랑이 되어주겠죠? 나 왜 이렇게 근데 나도 진짜 조금 이상하게 컵에 집착하게 되네. 글씨가 있으니까. 나가기 싫어요. 너무 멋진 방인걸? 불은 어떻게 다 켜요? 천장에. 불 다 켜고 나 여기서 쉬고 싶다. 나가기 싫은데? 문을 내가 닫을 순 없나? 못 닫나 보네? 근데 여기서 몇 분 동안 있으면은 막 뭐지? 뭐 도전까지 달성하고 그런 거 아니야? 근데 회사에 이렇게까지 넓은 휴게실이 있으면은 사원이 전체 몇 명이라는 거지? 어찌 보면 엄청 넓은 것도 아닐 수도 있겠지만 제가 경험했던 회사들에 비하면 꽤 넓은 휴게실인데 근데 자판기가 하나밖에 없어? 커피 머신은 왜 또 이런 데다 꽁쳐놨지? 왜 이렇게 허접하냐? 그림은 이런 의미 없는 그림. 기품은 왜 이렇게 다 뭐 복도 구석이랑 뭐 사무실 구석이랑 여기저기 아무데나 다 있냐? 정리가 안 돼 있구만. 뭐 소파를 이따구로 놔둬가지고 뭐 서로 마주보고 한 명씩 앉으라는 거야? 면담하는 곳인가요, 여기? 아, 뭐가 몇 분 기다렸는데도 근데 시계가 안 바뀌는 것 같다? 아닌가? 가볼까?
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
왼쪽에 열려있는 첫 번째 문? 이건 오른쪽인데? 왼쪽에 문이 없는데? 여기는 시계가 왜 있어요? 아, 시계가 좀 지나가고 있긴 있는 건가?
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
여기가 원래 길이라고요? 왜 뭐 하는 데인데? 저게 뭔데? 어? 나 어디 가는 거야?
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further
아, 나
off track.
그랬어?
So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
아, 그래요? 진짜예요? 영 못 믿겠는디? 문 좀 열어줘요! 나 갇혔어!
Oh, no. No, it's to the right. My mistake.
어? 그럴 줄 알았다. 새끼야.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
뭐 하시는 거예요, 지금?
Let's see, we went down right, left, down, left, right.
미쳤나?
Yep,
이리 와.
okay,
야,
yes.
멱살 잡자.
I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
진짜야? 뭐 차 한 대밖에 없는데? 손전등 아닌가? 여기서 더 갈 순 없는 건가? 차 뒤에 공간 없어요? 기둥 뒤에 공간 없어? 차에라도 태워줘요. 뭔데 이거? 절로 내려가는 거야?
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to
뭐가
who
스포일러요?
am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about rather than waste my time trying to salvage
나
this
여기
nonsense,
봤는데?
we'll just restart the game from the beginning.
여기 있으면
And
안
this
돼요?
time, suppose we don't wander so far
나
off
저기
track,
있어야
hmm?
돼?
Okay, from the top.
에이 미쳤나 진짜.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
몰라 내가 알 바요.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
아 얘 자꾸 개걸음 걸어가지고 불편해.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in
내가
that
뭔
room
짓을
with all
했어?
the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
내 느낌에는 여기야. 저기 봐, 불 켜져 있잖아. 저기 못 들어가나?
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it
그랬구나.
unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
아이씨.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
똑같은 말 하기 지겹지 않나? 회의실 어쩌면 아예 덜컹거리는 소리도 안 나네. 어? 여기 불이 켜졌어 방금. 483호 쪽? 아닌가? 뒤에서 불이 켜진 건가? 나 여기서 왔어요?
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the
문이
story is back where
없잖아.
we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
아, 그래서 내가 아까 돌아가려고 그랬는데 겁나 뭐라 할까봐 또 이렇게 왔더만. 아야. 사용자 이름 어세스. 놓친 게 뭐가 있어 내가. 근데 저쪽에 불 켜졌었는데.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
뭔데? 여기 무슨 이야기가 있는데요? 뭔데?
No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
아, 진짜. 이거 그냥 열받게 하는 게임 아니에요? 아니, 나, 폴 형님이 하는 거 볼 때는 왜 이렇게 나레이션을 싫어하셨는지 알겠네. 뭐야, 여기?
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
와, 내가 이겼다!
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So, good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay?
왜?
I'm getting
내가
weirded out by
이겼다며.
whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
아, 짱나네. 내가 이겼다며.
All
또
right, I've got a solution. This time, to
스탠리패러블
make sure we don't get lost,
어드벤처
I've
라인.
employed the help of the 스탠리패러블 adventure line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
해주지 뭐. 해봤는데 안 되기만 해봐. 아이씨. 일로 가는겨? 원래는 여기 아니었잖아. 나 시키는 대로 한다.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction.
아야.
Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there?
뭔
Or to put it
소리야?
another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just
근데
stick with me.
대충 해도
Now, we
이
can both
아저씨가
agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right?
막 이렇게
Okay. Now, if
씨부려주니까
my experience of your existence
편하네요.
rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own
컵을
relative
여기서 만드는 건가?
experiential
내
mental
사랑이
subjective
되어줘.
construct?
저 공서체
Hang on. That got a bit weird back
컵은
there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going.
처음
with all
보는
that.
컵인데?
You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
근데 나 점프를 못하는데? 어떻게 저걸 따라가지? 야 지금 장난하냐? 노란 선 이거 뭐야 지금? 뭐라 적혀있는 거야? 누가 뭐라 적었다가 지웠어요. 물음표? 오, 근데 이렇게 낮은 숫자는 처음 봐요. 장난해 지금? 노란 선? 아, 이거 게임 플레이를 어떻게 하냐에 따라서 나 이런 거 못 봤던 것 같은데, 폴량님 스트림 하는 거 볼 때. 야, 내가 이렇게 걷는 줄 어떻게 알고 또 이렇게 선을 그어놨냐? 나 지하실 들어왔어. 여기 지하실이죠? 보고서, 기업 불균형, 통합 보고서, 월별 원장, 뒤에 문 닫혔네? 아, 길 따라가기 더럽게 힘드네. 더럽게 힘들어. 무슨 캐비넷이 이렇게 어떻게 올라가려는 거야, 이거? 아, 일로 가라고?
Wait, cut the music. Go back and look at that fern.
양치식물? 이거?
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
왜? 나 진짜 주라기 공원에서 왔어? 나 사실 공룡이지. 방금 방사할 때 이상하긴 했어. 어? 나 공룡 아니야? 나 주라기 공원에서 온 거지? 나 여기 가뒀던 거지? 뭐야?
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No, no. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanleyparable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
응? 어쩌라는겨? 아하, 여기 길이 있는데요? 어? 여기 그거라 아니야?
Oh, no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
장난해? 아니 어드벤처 라인이라고 지금 여기 한글로 써주면 뭐하냐고.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring,
그러니까 나
mysterious.
그런 거 하고 싶어.
Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
그래. 진작에 이랬어야지.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley.
난 내가 공룡이었으면
I'm ready
좋겠어.
for it.
근데 나 계속 도는 거 같은데? 그건 아니네. 사실 내가 유전자 조작을 한 공룡인 거지.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
아니 근데 라인을 이따구로 그려놓고 어허 여기 문이 있는데요?
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control.
과연 내가
Important we
지배하는
mustn't
걸까?
squander the opportunity. In fact, I
저기
believe
있는
I need a
건-
minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
에헤.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the
목적
game
없이 방황.
eight
데이터와
times?
게임을 재시작. 두 번째
Really
재시작.
how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget?
스탠리
My mind
상황
goes
뭐야?
blank simply because it's written here on
지루해져서
this,
떠나.
this
서점 어딨어
thing,
서점?
wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say
그럼
in
나
all of
지금
this?
한
Is it really? No, it can't
여섯
be.
번째
I
재시작한
don't
거예요?
want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped. Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
시작된 것 같은디? 나레이터 씨, 기억하시나요? 아, 이거 몰카같이 생긴 거 이거 연필깎이였구나. 사실 몰카가 어떻게 생긴지는
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it
요즘
mean?
워낙 생긴 게
Stanley decided to
다양해져서
go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
정형화돼 있지 않죠, 몰카의 생김새는. 일로 갔던가?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
이번엔 왼쪽 문으로 들어가는 거 맞지? 길 잃어버리거나 그러지 않겠지? 왜 또 파란색... 아, 여기 회의실이구나.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer
다른 동료에게
there.
소극적으로 공격성 드러내기. 슬라이드. 번들거리는 파란색 그래픽. 모두가 특별합니다. 특히 당신이. Especially you. 슬라이드. 다음 거 없어? 슬라이드 뇌절 한번 해봐. 차트는 이제 그만. 이렇게 빌게 더 많은 차트. 사장이 좋아하는 20가지 항목? 근데 이제 더 갈등적 성향을 곁들인? 근데 내가 갈등을 일으킨 사람이 아니라면? 봄 휴가도 있어요? 좋은 회사인데? 청소 도구함 또 들어가면 뭐라 하려나?
Oh no, oh no, 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 not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
그래도 돼요. 그것이 알고 싶다 해서 그것이 알고 싶다가 아니라 이거 재수사 해야 된다고 하지 않았어요? 범죄 심리학 교수님이? 그쵸? 이거 뭔지 아시는 분? 뭐 때문에 유명해진 공군지. 인터넷에 꽤 떠들썩했어요. 이런 식으로 내가 인터넷을 많이 한다는 걸 알리게 되는 건가? 근데 이 공구가 외국에도 이렇게 회사에 이렇게 있는 거 보면은 꽤 뭐에 쓸만한 도구이긴 한가 봐요. 주로 어떤 때 쓰죠? 듣기로는 뭐 측정하는 데 쓴다고 했던 것 같은데.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
그래가지고 사장실 올라가가지고 2845 입력하면은 제대로 된 뭐가 나오는 거야? 여기 사장실이야? 잠깐만, 더 올라가는 계단 없나? 여기가 끝이네? 이거 아까 봤던 거기죠?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
방금 뭐 활성화 떴었는데? 저
Stanley just
번호판인가?
sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
번호판 건가 봐.
(2845)
알았어. 아, 누른다고.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck.
마음대로 누른 거 아니잖아. 네가
He stepped into
2845라고
the newly
얼마나
opened
뭐라
passageway.
그랬는데. 이제 뭐 좀 제대로 된 거 나오는 거겠지? 근데 왜 내레이션이 말이 없어 지금?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
아, 이번에 시킨 대로 다 한다. 근데 아까랑 똑같은 거 아니에요?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
여기 뭐 없잖아. 이건가? 이거였던가?
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore
와우,
the number
정말
of an
놀라운 거?
employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a
화장실도
screen,
모니터
and
있어요?
Stanley, one of them,
화장실 같이 생긴 거
eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
나레이션이 좀 차분해졌다? 뭔가 달라지는 걸까? 나 이거 좀 열어봐. 이거밖에는 없는겨?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his
나
boring job?
행복했냐고.
That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it.
He refused
couldn't
to.
accept it. His own life in someone else's control?
Someone
Never.
else's control.
It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
버튼이 어디
And as the
있는데?
cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
다 소리가 달라. 뭐지? 계속 누르게 되는데요? 아, 타격감이 좋은데? 저렇게 살다가 내가 미쳐. 이거 무슨 노래인지 아시는 분? 티아라의 내가 미쳐인가? 크레이지인가? 미쳐인가? 이거 뭐 해도 뭐 아무것도 안 나오나 보네? 몇 번 누르면은 얘가 고장이 날까? 이 5를 누르는 동안은 아무 일도 일어나지 않고 평화로운 걸까요? 평화로운 5. 아, 5가 막 이제 그만하라고 하는 것 같아. 뭐 안 나오네? 정신지배 비가동 중. 명령어
And when at
대기
last he
중.
found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to... Oh, Stanley.
네.
You didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
컨트롤.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them.
무슨 일이
I
일어났는지?
erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock.
콘솔 비활성화?
These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
난
Or did you
모르지.
just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button,
난
screen
모르는
to
거
screen,
아니야.
clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's
저
just
세모는
seconds
뭐야?
ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you
안녕히 직원 번호
Take a look at the
427.
clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part
뭐
of the joke.
했다고?
And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever after.
여기서 하던 일 계속 할 수는 없는 건가?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
나 딴 방 들어가면 안 돼?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
병. 저 콩철인데요. 문 좀 열어주세요. 문 앞이야. 집 열어. 어디로 가라 그랬다고? 여기 나를 위한 방 아니야? 아무래도 저쪽으로 들어가야 될 것 같아. 왠지 열릴 것 같은 소리가 들려. 열어주세요. 저기요. 열어주세요. 저기요. 이거 유리창 못 깨나? 에이. 483호 저기 한번 들어가 보고 싶은데.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. What a beautiful room.
What a beautiful room.
Gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
맞아. 난 이 방이 정말 좋아.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have
시간이
mysteriously
별로 안
vanished,
지났네?
here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it. At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why
우리
everyone
회의실에
left.
대한 내레이션은 정해져 있나 봐요? 청소도구 하면 한 몇 번 갔더니
Stanley sat around waiting
뭐라
for more
그러던데
dialogue.
또
But when a long time
다른
had
식으로
passed
뭐라
and there was
그러던데
no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message. But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
꿈쩍도 안 해. 근데 저 첫 번째 방 들어가라 그랬잖아. 저기 뭐가 보이는데?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
뭔데? 여기 창문이야? 여기 근데 뭐 하는 회사예요? 카드 긁으라고 돼 있는데. 카드가 없어. 경고문. 화물 승강기가 움직이는 동안 뛰지 마십시오.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
그녀요?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
그녀가 누군데? 나 애인이 있었어? 나 와이프 있었어? 뭔데요? 그녀가 어디 있는데? 무서워. 그녀가 누군데요? 이거 탈 수 없는 건가? 어두워. 어머.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
왜요? 나한테 왜 이런 시련을? 나 전화 받으려고 하는데 안 받아지는데?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven.
어머, 누구세요?
All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
나 집이야?
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
좋은 아침입니다. G를 누르세요.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
이 방 들어가고 싶은데. 내 방에 못 들어가네, 내가.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
아이들이 어딨는데?
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley패러블.
아기 있는 방 있는 줄 몰랐는데? 이거 스폰데?
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Just one more time. Just one more time. 이 사람 누군데?
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this. That in this world he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
알았어. 안 누를게. 저 사실 스탠리패러블 되게 하고 싶었던 게임인데 지금 하고 있자니까 멀미가 나요. 눈이 점점 가운데로 쏠리는 것 같고 멀미가 나고 있어요, 지금. 그래서 그냥 이렇게 하고 기다리려고. 안 누르고 있잖니? 다른 거 눌러볼까? F 말고 M 눌러볼게요. 다른 건 눌러도 아무 반응이 없네. 다른 거 다 눌러봤어요.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself?
아저씨인 주제.
How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
기다리고 싶은데 별 별일이 안 일어나고 자꾸 시간만 가니까 걱정나잖아 이거. O를 누르라는 거예요?
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
기분 나빠. 스트레스 받지 말고 웃어야 되는데.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
근데 메모를 봤으면? 어? 다시 못 돌아가네? 문 열어줘요. 엔딩 하나만 보고 스탠리패러블 오늘 플레이는 그만해야겠어요.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
아니, 오른쪽으로 갔을 때 더 재밌는 일이 많았어.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Just admire.
The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it about this room that called so deeply and so personally to Stanley? Its grace, its subtle charm. No. Stanley knew
청소
it was something
도구함이랑
deeper,
비슷하네요.
something darker.
Something darker.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it. At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left. Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
무슨 메시지? 무슨 메시지? 여기서 너무 시간을 잡아먹으면 안 되니까.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
다른 문으로는 못 가나? 혹시 막 456번 두들겨야 열리고 막
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
바로 앞에 반대편 문? 나 여기 돌아가는 길이야? 문이 안 열리네?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
응? 청소 도구함 여기 막아놨어. 왜요? 들어가고 싶은데.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
여긴 문이 안 열리네. 와우. 여긴 뭐가 없네.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
Maybe
All of my
I am
coworkers
crazy.
blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him
그러게.
wherever he went? And for
왜
that
문이
matter,
자동으로
these rooms were
닫혀요?
starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real.
Oh,
And at
too
last,
strange.
he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then
오.
he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled
뭐가
that he had still
생긴다.
not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest
진짜 나
question of
자고
them
있나?
all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice
방금 문
spoke to all people in their
닫혔었는데 나
dreams,
갇힌 줄
the truth
알았네.
was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons.
Let me continue pushing
It's
the
all I
button.
want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job.
와이프는
All I
없었다며.
want is my life
없었다고
exactly the way
놀렸잖아,
it's
내가
always been.
나를.
My life is normal. I am normal.
I am
Everything
normal.
will be fine. I am okay.
I am okay. 엔딩이 아니네?
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss.
My
I have
name
an
is
office.
Stanley.
I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Who am I?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in
이치광이처럼
that moment,
생겼나요?
she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real
Control of
and what
my
isn't.
mind.
It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for
약간
that
이
day.
내레이션
The very important people
뭐라지?
whose impressions
억양?
of her
말투?
would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this,
영국이랑
so
좀
it was only a
비슷하네요.
moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
119 신고는 해주신 거죠? 마리엘라 씨? 뭔가 하나 더 보고 싶게 만드는
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
청소 도구함 또 가면은 뭐라 하려나? 새로운 콘텐츠.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
왜 여기 막혀 있어? 창문도 막혀 있고 여기.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanleyparable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanleyparable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
2013년에
Receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022
나는
with the Stanleyparable
신촌에
Ultra
있었다.
Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
그때랑 정말 많이 달라졌죠. 인천이랑.
Please step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in
홍대도
the
그렇고.
Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
각자 자기 말하기.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing
뭐지?
special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
그래, 빨리 가보자. 위로 갔으면 좋겠는데?
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or up? Oh, there we go. All right,
위로
finally,
가네.
at long last,
좋아,
it's
좋아.
on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Let's do it!
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
뉴 콘텐츠.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
점프 가능한 원. 이게 무슨 의미가 있죠?
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
그러게.
Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I
올라가는
have
거
to
좋네.
say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content.
30조를
Oh, wait.
30조까지 세면은 1000시간이 될까요?
Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
아까 원래 이 방향으로 전등 달려 있었나? 근데 왜 시간이 좀 지나긴 했네. 새로운 콘텐츠를 풀게해 주셔서
That's it?
감사합니다.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold
문
them
닫혔다.
personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much
뒤에 있는 문
anticipation
닫혔어요.
around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks.
왜 이렇게
Just you and me having a great time together
강제로
like
리로드가
always.
많아.
What do you say, friend?
참. 똑같이 시작하는 거는 맞는데. 그러면은 일단은 여기까지 하고 여기까지 하고, 멀미가 사실 엔딩 볼 거 있으면 다 보고 싶은데, 다음 회차로 넘어갈 수밖에 없는 게 멀미가 나네요. 멀미가 나가지고 좀 쉬었다가 다음 회차 때 또 여러 가지 찾아보도록 하겠습니다. 되게 조용해가지고 나름 게임이 그러니까 나레이션도 그냥 말하는 것뿐이지 조용조용해가지고 자기 전에 보기에도 괜찮을 것 같고요. 스탠리패러블 다음 회차로 또 플레이 할 테니까 그때도 또 봐주시기 바랍니다. 감사합니다.